let's go back to sequences. So if I want to create my own sequence just from scratch, what I can do is I can select File, New Sequence. I say Test for Demo. Opens up a blank sequence for me. Now, where am I going to get my frequencies from? I can get them from anywhere I want to. I can go to electroherbalism.com. They've got lists there. You can go up to Sutherland's. You can go wherever you want and get frequencies. And you can use this menu here and add a frequency. And I can type in, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 as a frequency, except this one here. Oops, I really don't want that, so I can just cut it. Remember, it's a modern editor. Now, let's say I have a list of frequencies here, and I want to type them in. How do I do this efficiently and fast? If I go to my keyboard and press the Alt key, and then N, it creates a new frequency step for me, and I can just type the new frequency. Alt N, Alt N. And so I can very quickly type in a long list of frequencies. And so now I can come back here. I can go, okay, I want to add a label and call this test label. And then I'm going to move this up. So it gets up to the top, test label, and then maybe this section down here, I can create a new label and call this next. And so I can label my work. So it's very clear as to what I'm doing. Now, I want to go look at frequencies that are pretty common that people have for something else. So new sequence step from frequency library. This is a very powerful feature here. Takes a second to load up. And so let's say that, oops, go back here. Let's see, I'm feeling some joint pain today. So I'm going to say, look up some arthritis frequencies. And there's arthritis frequencies for me. Now look over at the sequence to the left and watch what I do. I want to run a few of these. I don't want to run all of them. So I click on 50. And notice it makes the next sequence step for me. 900, new sequence step. It's that easy to add frequency steps. Okay. Now, this one here, arthritis 2, this has a long list of frequencies to it, like a long list. I don't want to click on all those individually, but I want them all. I just click on all, and it puts them all over there for me. And you notice there they are. It's that easy to do. So that add from frequency library is very, very powerful. So now let's go to be a normal kind of user. And I'm going to drag this. And by the way, you can readjust the windows here so you have some room. And I'm just going to delete this one. Now, this is how I expect most users to use this program in the beginning. And that is to go look at David's Icu sequences. And so he has a whole bunch of sequences already put together for the users. And so you can come in here and look, let's say, abdominal hernias. And let's see, something else, pick whatever this is, fungi. And I can just drag and drop these in here, and they're fully usable by Shatter. I can take and drag that onto a generator and just click start. and it runs for you. That's it. And notice this is a JDS generator, runs the same as Spooky generator as far as Shatter is concerned. Okay. So now we got asked about what's called chains. And so if you go in and let's do a new sequence, and I'm going to call this a sequence. And this is a very cool feature. First, I'm going to just delete that. We don't need that. But add sequence step, which is a sequence. And notice what happens here. We have a sequence step, which is another sequence. So do that again. Add another sequence step, and we'll run that. And again, so now if I save this, load it in, and look, it shows basically, and I can resize this sequence, that sequence, that. So it can just run the two sequences. You don't have to go get all the individual frequencies from each one of those. Now, I'm going to go ahead and unload this again. Let's look at this. Now, this doesn't have to be David's sequences. I can go add a sequence from here, which happens to be one of the sequences that I made. It can be any sequence that's over in my sequences. These need to stay here for this to work correctly. So you can't go add a sequence here and then delete it over here and expect it to run properly. Okay, you have to keep them over here. So now, another cool feature is, let's go ahead and open up, let's say, the HPA balance, axis balance. And I really like these frequencies here. So I'm going to copy, come over here, and paste them here. I can mix and match between sequence steps and frequency steps. And I can have beeps in here if I want. I can add pauses. You can do any particular mix and match on this that I want. And then save it and close it up. And we're ready to go. So then our sequence of sequences, we can just load up and run. And it shows the nice mix of sequences, beep, and then various frequency steps. And that's it. So let's redock this. Oh, by the way, something that a nice little feature that Jason added. If you just drag and drop into this area, it'll just dock it for you. You don't have to use the menu. Okay, so that's a lot of the details on the sequences. Now let's talk about generators.